Okay, in this video we're going to talk about another property of triangles, and that's called the Angle Bisector Theorem. And again, remember that these theorems work really well with isosceles, equilateral, and right triangles. Okay, so isosceles, equilateral, and right triangles. Okay, so what does this particular theorem say? If I have any angle, and let's call this angle, I don't know, A, B, and C, all right? So I have angle ABC, and I were to draw a perpendicular bisector. Remember that what that means is I'm dividing this basically into two equal parts, right? And let's call this one line, I don't know, AD, okay? So if line, and remember when you do line, you do this. If line AD is a perpendicular bisector to angle BAC, then any point on the bisector, right? So any point on this particular bisector is equally distant from the sides. All right, and let me show you quite how that works. So let's say I have a point here, and we'll call this point E. Okay, this point is equally distant from here and for here, but this is what's kind of cool about it. Let me just draw that down. The triangle that it forms is a 90-degree or is a right triangle, okay? So that's the distance that you need to go, and that's what you need to create in order to be equally distant from there. Now, you could go out to here as well, and you could go out to there, or could go out to there, but you have to do the corresponding thing out there. So really, maybe to say this a little bit better, the closest distance to the angle, to the actual angle part, to the sides of the angle, the closest or the smallest distance forms a right triangle. Okay, maybe that's another way of looking at it that might be a little bit better. So let's call that, again, I think we call that point E, right? So that, let's call this E, F, and G. So then EF, line segment EF, would be equal to line segment EG, right? And those particular, and if they form a right triangle, well, actually, if they form a perpendicular, which is still a right triangle, so if they form a perpendicular, that segment is the closest distance. To that triangle, to that angle rather. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you.